Near, 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 rip a hole in the sun. Welcome to Cum Paude. Why would you cum soft when you can cum louder? Yeah.
Oh, welcome to Cum Laude. Poude. We are here with the Cum Paude official in-season show for the first time for this 2024-2025 fantasy season. This is exciting. But what makes it even more exciting is I am joined by my esteemed co-host, mi hermano, Dame Jitty Dench, the Firmalicious extraordinaire. What is going on, Fermi?
What is up? We're back officially. The double co-host here going tonight. We're going right into the regular season. Everybody's been waiting for it. I know we've missed two games here already, but we're getting you a pal day. We're going to talk about week one. We're going to get this kicked off and get it done right.
Yes, sir. And you've been holding down the fort all summer, flying solo, sent on this kind of mission to the middle of Antarctica, where you've been broadcasting all of these shows from the lab. And how did that go? How was holding it down here on the Paude solo mission?
You know, it was tough, but I knew it's what the people needed. Is really difficult getting a hold of my colleagues out there, Rivadirce, Kilo Turd, getting his preseason predictions, taking a lot of heat for what he thinks is going to happen this year. But that's gonna come at you. Everybody feels like they've got a team that can do something, and if you can't take the press, stay in the pressure cooker and get going where you got to get going. So it was a lot of fun. We got some content out there, but nothing beats a good regular season PAL day. Here we go.
Good to be back, buddy. Where should we begin?
Let's talk a little bit about the NFL being back. We had Ravens and Chefs on Thursday night. Little bit of heartbreak for the locals here, the Ravens fans. It was just a
Stop,
Isaiah.
stop, stop,
We're gonna
stop,
stop.
stop.
Okay,
Ille-
okay.
illegal formation on Furman to start the show. 5-yard penalty. All right, go ahead and replay first.
Okay, we can keep going again. So Isaiah likely his foot was just too big. Otherwise, we would have had a victory. But yeah, penalties all over the place. Well, very one-sided. It felt very much penalties not called against coaches, penalties called against tackles, no false starts. That's right. The spag timeout not allowed. How about the new kickoffs though? How are you feeling about that?
To paraphrase Jaron Duran though, fucking spaggot. Like, I mean, what the hell? What the hell, man?
You can't do that.
And Andy Reid's honestly comments after the game, I think, were some of the type of thing that only coaches like Reid or Harbaugh or Tomlin, I mean, these guys that have been around forever can get away with saying at the refs. He was like, "Look, I was just glad we were on defense when the refs were making their point." I mean, it was, and clearly they did it again in Brasilia. But yeah, you were about to hit the kickoffs. I mean, what are we thinking about that? That changes the game for fantasy slightly.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it. There were a lot of touchbacks. I think the NFL felt like we were going to get more returns with this format. I think 9 out of 11 Thursday night went for touchbacks, so there wasn't a lot of returns that happened, and it just I guess it's for the safety of the game, but it just looks weird.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an adjustment. Not that the impact of returns and stuff like that are huge for fantasy, but every now and again, especially if we're riding this defense and special teams thing for another year or so, or if you've got a guy, a running back or something like that who's returning kicks, it could have some impact. And if we're just going to see touchbacks all year, I just get rid of it. We'll take the ball at the 25 and let's just start playing football, right?
Yeah, it feels like if you can get past that first line, you're gone. If you just get a breakthrough, and maybe we'll see some beefier kickers out there.
Hey, love to see it. I mean, I have to stretch the hamstrings, but I'm at least ready on your first criteria.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into week one. We got big Nick Pick energy coming here. Nick's Picks is back at it again for another year. We should have brought up some of those stats from last year to see how he ended the season. We'll bring those in post production for sure. But we're going to try it again here, week one. We've got the odds that are going to be popping up here shortly. We're going to go through each game, each matchup one by one. The current odds that are set are inclusive of the first two games that have been played so far. We didn't capture the pre-start odds going into this, so it is, as you see with some players that have gone. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off. The first game that we're going to review here today is John Wilkes Tooth at the Minnesota Anti-Dentites. Wilkes Tooth is favored right now by 3.5. What are you thinking about that, Nick Pick?
Man, love this one. And this one, we're starting a little bit cleaner than some of the other games where we're already at a serious advantage because some major points were put up both Thursday and Friday. This one's a lot more even with just one player having started for the Tooth. I am actually on the Tooth on this one. I know we've got a 3.5 points, which I think is a really, really good number. For this one, because these are two evenly matched teams, but I do think that the running back room for the Tooth is certainly a little bit more powerful. Let's just say the Tooth has a little bit more of a bite to it in the running back room here. So like what they've got going on, though there is a potential for some pop if Javonte Williams maybe returns to the 2 years ago pre-knee injury form for the Anti-Dentites. But give me the Tooth minus 3.5.
All right, first pick is locked in with the Tooth minus 3.5. Going up next here, we're going to talk about the reigning two-time back-to-back champion, the Pubic Medusas, at the Moons over Miami, over the Moon Hammy, formerly the Ham Fist and Ham Skins. We've got Medusas only favored by 2.5 right now. They've had some players go. They had Jalen Hurts that struggled a little bit, still put up the points that you want out of the quarterback. But how are you feeling about the champ here?
It's coming into this with a chance to maybe have a 50-point lead and didn't quite pull that off. I mean, got, like you said, decent production, but without a Kelsey touchdown or really meaningful yardage, he's kind of already lost the value from that one-off position. I know we're going to talk about that position a little bit later on in the show. Jalen Hurts, as you said, did what you would want to see, but Pacheco really showed off. You get a decent game from the Ham-Fisters out of Brian Robinson and DeAndre Swift. Now, these are big ifs. I think that they can get it done. Do I think that the Medusas are going to get upset by a man whose team is named after a menu item from Denny's? Now, Denny's, as you know, is just Waffle House for people who cannot fight. Is it going to happen? Are we going to get it? Our spread's 2.5, and the champs get it done. 1-0. Even without Travis Kelce, lock up the Medusas minus 2.5.
All right. We got two favorites going out of the gate here. Let's throw up just a straight up money line pick here. Right now, we've got All Hail ESPN at Dodge City. Dodge City got a little throttled there with the announcement that T. Higgins is out this week. Going to struggle maybe in that flex position, but All Hail ESPN, probably the oldest team in the league, wins year one, doesn't do anything else with their team since then, but looks like they might be able to challenge a really strong team in Dodge City.
Yeah, and there's a lot of potential for touchdowns on this team as you kind of like look up and down the list. I know Aaron Rodgers isn't necessarily historically known for really targeting tight ends in the red zone in the way that some other quarterbacks are, but given the way that offense is structured, Conklin may be a real sneaky play, a dude that can get you 5 to 6 this season, big-bodied receivers, and a great start from Rashee Rice. We all know that Cooper Kupp, he's like the modern day Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns. And I do think that Devin Singletary may get probably more goal line work than he deserves. So there's a potential for a real explosion here. Like you said, it is a pick'em. We don't know what Kevin's going to necessarily do in that second flex position. Dan Klingon, team All Hail ESPN. Pick'em. We're going with All Hail ESPN. Getting it done out of the gate.
Upset Central. I like it. Bringing that energy. Talking about energy, We got Big Dak Energy, who we all know is just got a star-studded roster, a lot of depth. We just glaze them all day long, every single pow day. But they're going up against the Bermuda Talon Gulls. Might as well be the Bermuda Triangle with the way they opened up with all that points all over Big Dak Energy. We knew this one's going to be high scoring, but right now, Bermuda favored by 12.5. That's a big spread.
I mean, this has been an awesome start, and this is one that, in fairness, I'm kind of picking with quite an advantage here, given the fact that this team's already started and we kind of know what we're going to get out of them. I know we've adjusted the spread and given 12.5. We love Big Dak Energy on this Pow Day. We want Big Dak to put this thing together. But after a significant rebranding into a challenging name to pronounce, the Bermuda Talon Gulls, the chickens have large talons. We've got a little BM in the logo too, I believe, which, well, means something different to you and I, Firm, than maybe it means to most. They 12.5 with Cheryl Swoops, Saquon Barkley, Larry Bird, Lamar Jackson, already in here. God, I want to know what Scott was doing when he was making these nicknames. I love every single one of them. CeeDee Lamb actually comes out and impresses in this one, puts up a 2-touchdown, 100-yard performance. Kukuga. We're locking up Bermuda Talon Gulls.
The Talon Gulls. All right. Next, we're coming up with another name change this year. We previously had them as the Jumbo We Nears in homage to the show. Fantastic. Loved it. They are no longer. They are now the Jumbo Winners. They're coming here to win games and not take any losses all year. They're going undefeated. That is Brian's team, the Jumbo Winners, going at Beth's Healthy Twins. Right now, the Winners are not favored. They are the underdogs going at the Beth's Healthy Twins. They are getting 4.5 points. What do you feel about the renamed Jumbo Winners? Can they win?
A team is not as bad as maybe people think that it is, especially to start the year. Chuba Hubbard is actually a really solid running back for the first half of this season, or it seems like he's going to get the lion's share of the work there for the Panthers. Zamir White, not as high on him as maybe the general consensus is, but again, supposed to be a workhorse. So this team that maybe people were trashing a little bit has some energy that can get rolling, especially with Beth's Healthy Twins already in the gate with kind of a stinker from Mark Andrews, clearly looking to have been affected by, I guess it was a huge red Dodge Ram pickup truck that ran him off of Lyons Mill Road with a kayak on top. Whenever they find that guy, obviously this will maybe lead to a more serious investigation. We've got the man from Florida, Cook, generic elder, Brian, the Hitman Miller, coming out of the gates with a win outright. Put it on the money line, guys. Put it on the money line.
Big money line.
Brian's getting a money line win here, but give me Brian in the 4.5.
All right. Brian getting 4.5, taking the win, but they're going to win outright. I love it. The next matchup is yours truly, Marty's Mussy, a.k.a. Dame Judi Dench, going against John's Bussy, who really opened up big with his Packers lineup. We didn't know how that was going to go. He knew exactly how it was going to go with Jaden Reed. Opens up big time, got a huge lead, and the DJDs are underdogs. They're getting 4.5 points here. How's this going to shake out?
Wow, I tell you what, Jaden Reed seeming like the steal of the offseason, right? I think there was some criticism of that trade. Marty, he knew what he was getting. Obviously, for the rest of the season, he's got some things he needs to figure out with Jordan Love now looking like he's dealing with a serious injury. But he even threw up 20 points there, getting injured in the final 6 seconds of the game. The inverse of the Aaron Rodgers week 1 from last year. We've got what I think is going to be 2 decent scoring defenses here and a lot of solid action on the receiving core for the Judi Dentures. I think, even though we've got a veteran squad here, an older squad, that might have taken some days off during training camp, some veterans rest days. We've got some things here, maybe not in as great a shape. They're going to come out ready to rock and roll. The Judys, the DJ Deers, they're going to get it done. Lock it up. Good. Marty's Mussy, and you know what? For this one as well, sprinkle a little on the money line.
There we go. Marty's Mussy gets it done. This was supposed to be a tank year for John's Bussy anyway. Maybe this is at risk. Gets a win. He could pull a cum sale trying to get that big tank energy and just string together some wins. So let's hope for Marty's Mussy for the case of John's Bussy. The last game of the week that we're going to talk about here today is a big one. It's controversial. There's been a lot of talk going on in the group chat about this game and how it's going to go down. It's the Nick on Nick. It's the Laporta Potties at the Cum Sale. Right now, the Cum Sale jumped out to a good lead with their number one overall pick in their draft this year in Xavier Worthy. We got Laporta Potties as the dogs here. They're getting 9.5 points at the Cum Sale. How you feel about your boys?
Oh, I mean, we know how this is shaping up a year ahead of schedule, right? I mean, this is like the Orioles of last year. Next year is supposed to be our year, but why not? Why not us? Why not right now? And that's what it's going to be. It's looking like the king of the NFC North is wide open with Jordan Love's injury. Who's going to fill that void? That's right. The LGBTQV, Caleb Williams, coming in hot. He's going to have a great opening round. Now, my namesake on the other side, he's got a squad. And it's really going to come down to, is Devon a con and is Jaleel McLaughlin really the types of guys that are going to get the usage both in the passing game and in the running game that some people think that they are. I think that might happen later on in the season, but with some tough matchups to start the year, we're going with y'all's truly the Cum Sale. Yeah. Covering that massive 10 points without a problem. Cum Sale by infinity.
Cum Sale by infinity. We'll keep an eye on Jamar Chase as well. They're already out T. Higgins. Jamar Chase's contract is throwing a lot of news out there, whether he'll play or not. He's being a little goofy as well in the press, saying he may be out there. I don't know what's going to happen, but that would definitely put a big hit to the Potties as well.
Andre Yoshivas loading. Andre Yoshivas game loading.
Iacivas. That's right. So it's good quick rundown of week one against the spread. We've got the Knicks picks locked up. We're going to do a real quick recap of what Arrivederci had in week one, and that was just straight pick 'em Medusas, Best Healthy Twins, the Talongulls, Doge City, the Dame Judy, the Wilkes Tooth, and the Porta Pots, all projected to get a week one win. Right now, it's up in the air. The only games that we have big spreads on right now are the Talongulls and Big Dak Energy and the Potties and the Cum Sales. We got a big week one coming. We got Sunday night football. We got Sunday day football, Sunday afternoon football all day tomorrow, and then we got the Monday nights. This is going to be a good, exciting time. I mean, what are you looking forward to this season? You got any quick hot takes just after 2 games of the NFL?
Well, I mean, I think we saw just a ton of, outside of the penalties and everything else, a ton of just talent and a ton of speed. Right. I mean, we saw the Chiefs opening up with more speed than it seems like they've had in a long time, or at least speed with dudes who can also catch the ball and those sorts of things. Xavier Worthy looked excellent coming out of the gate against the Ravens, who played a really solid game. I mean, the Ravens top to bottom played a great game. There was, like we know, some kind of the ball don't lie, and it's a ball that bounces funny a little bit sometimes. But we like to see that, and he was overshadowed, however. Jaden Reed, I think, is going to be the star of this week. I mean, the guy looked like what Debo was 3 years ago, right? We may be seeing this more and more. I think Cordero Patterson has kind of been the guy who really laid this on us as somebody who can fit in the backfield, can fit in on the outside, can return kicks, can return punts, and really do all of those sorts of things. And so love to see Jaden Reed doing that. They're going to need a lot more up there if they've got Malik Willis under center. Impressed by both games. I do know there was definitely some weirdness with the referees and quite a few complaints about the turf there down in Brazil. Slightly ironically, the Eagles, who are notorious for playing on just a terrible turf up there at the link, we're lodging most of the complaints. But man, I am excited. It's going to be a great season. Excited to win a championship with the Cum Sale this year, a year ahead of schedule.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speed kills. Absolutely. And I think my hot take of the year so far is are we worried about Mark Andrews? He's lining up as left tackle right now. That's a huge hit to Beth's Healthy Twins. Could be a huge boon in Isaiah Likely's rise to stardom there for the Doge cities and the fields tough there in Brazil. It's a funny thing enough that it's a rye mixture with artificial turf, and there's two teams in the NFL that do the same thing. And funny enough, that's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers that do that same kind of turf mix. So I don't know where the complaints can come from. So, you know, I'm looking forward to a really nice year here. A lot of good podcasting, a lot of good PAL days, and looking forward to having some more of the owners back on. We did a really good job with segments last year, having some owners come on, do some highlights, get to know yous, all that kind of thing. So if anybody's interested in joining the PAL Day, reach out to our production crew. We'll get you lined up for a slot.
I can't wait. Good to be back on. Thanks for holding it down all summer. And let's get this thing out to the league.
Yeah, we'll see you out there tonight. Good night, Fermi.
Thank you for listening to the official podcast of the Public Honors College Fantasy Football League. Cum quickly, cum often, and cum loud.